Alright, welcome back, guys. Berserker progress. Here's where we are. We've got 4 engines that have been completed now. Okay? So we completed 4 of them. So there's a left, there's a top, bottom, and a left and a right on each one, so there's 4 engines. We've got part of the flight deck completed. Okay, I still have to, I want to let it dry on these angles. You can see it's got these kind of complex angles. So I want them to dry really good. And then, you know, tomorrow or so I'll take and I'll kind of roll this piece here to get it to conform to this and glue that together. And that's the runway. Okay, so that's part of the flight deck. Then we also completed the roof of the flight deck. There's the lights of the flight deck, so that's going to somehow sit over top, somehow like that. So, for one night's progress so far, I think we got pretty far. So, till next time, be strong. All right, progress is really flying with the Battlestar Berzerk. Or gunship Berserk, whatever you want to call it. I've seen so many different things online about it. I don't know which is which, but it's moving along. Almost all of the components are built. I wanted to show you how they came along. Alright, so we're going to come up here. I'm going to zoom in, do it like this so I don't have the wibbly wobbly camera mode here going, but here we got the left and the right pods. Okay, now these are really odd shape. It took a little while to get it done, but they came out pretty decent. The only problem I have right now is that as you wrap your paper around like so, you start at one end and you start wrapping your paper around. When you get to here where they meet, there's no tab here, and right now it's open. Now I'm not sure if that was done by design with a purpose in mind. Gotta remember there's no directions to these kits, just a couple CAD photos, that's about it. So for right now I left it open, and if I need to build a tab on the inside I'll do that later, but just in case, I don't want it to bite me in the butt to have to, either cut it open or build another one. So I decided I was just going to leave it the way it is for now. And you can see the different guns on here, hence the name. It's a gunship. Pretty cool looking. So you got the left and the right pods. Over here more, you've got the 4 engines. Okay, 2 top, 2 bottom. They're right here. All these parts I need to get a grade pencil or a marker, and I have to go over the edges with them, take care of all the white that you see, like you can see here around this section here. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. This piece here is a very uniquely shaped piece. Okay, focus. Hello, focus. Damn you. A little better. This piece here is the engine mount. Okay. It's unique because this piece of paper here, this is just one paper, as you'll see in the photos afterwards, that started and just wrapped around. And as you can see, I had to bend it inwards, then outwards, then down and around. So it made it a little difficult, a little bit of a challenge, because you got to figure out which side of the paper to score on. So it looked really what's the word I'm looking for, the task looked very daunting when I first looked at the paper of the part, but once I cut it out it really fell into place. I mean, you can only go one way and it made sense. But that's that. So that's the engine mount. Then we've got over here, we've got this piece here. I'll bring the camera down now. Okay. This little piece here is the upper spine. Okay. Very delicate piece. Then we've got the spine itself. This is probably one of the most easier pieces to do. Okay. So that's done. Again, the edges, you can see the white there, the edges have to be topped off with some pencil or something. We've got the bottom engine mount here, which is just this little piece. Okay. The upper engine mount here. Or top engine mount, actually, they call it. Then you got these two pieces. This here is the roof of the landing bay. And actually, that's what these are the lights. Here is the landing bay itself, or the runway of the landing bay. So this is going to sit in the middle of the ship. The Berzerker is a little different, or Berzerk is a little different than your regular, I'll say regular Battlestar, for lack of a better word, referring to the Galactica and the Pegasus type Battlestars, where they have outriggers on the outside of the body, where their landing bays were. On the Berzerk, it's in the middle of the belly of the ship. Okay, so you come up from underneath, from the back end, let's just say, and you come in and you land, and when you take off, you go out the front underneath the head, the big alligator head of the ship. Okay, or maybe it's vice versa, I don't know. It's all hypothetical anyway, right? But this eventually would be mounted something like this. Okay, I'm not exactly sure yet, but that's how it's going to be mounted. Okay. Again, keep in mind, if you're following the build, this kit doesn't come with instructions. It's only come with two pieces, or two instruction sheets. Each one has no words on it. It's just pictures, and they're pictures of the CAD drawings. And what one would be has all the components on it. So each component looks like this. In other words, the finished part. In other words, what it's trying to tell you is this is what it should look like when you're done. It doesn't show you how to do it. It doesn't tell you how to do it. It just gives you a picture, and you know, and you're left to figure out that that's what your part is supposed to look like in the end. How to get from a flat sheet of paper to this, it's up to you. So that's a little bit of a challenge there. Okay, so far all the components are done. The major components are done, except for one major component and a couple minor components. Okay, first off, the major component is the head. Okay, this is the head of the Berzerk. It's got the name here and here, as you can see. Now, what I'm figuring is you cut this out, and this piece actually is going to come under like this, okay, and join up with all these pieces here. That's what I'm thinking has to be done. Now, what you can't see in the camera there, my lighting's bad and everything, but you're supposed to cut out in between each of these here, okay? Does that make sense? You cut out in between. But also in between is a tab. So in other words, once you've cut this piece, for sake of argument, is supposed to connect to here over top of the tab. And then you glue the tab in place. But what that's going to do is, in effect, if I can show you, if this, make believe this is one side here, and this piece here is that side, okay? If you can envision that. What happens is, with the tab, and let's just say this is the color of the drawing, and this here's the tab. This piece has to come over top and gets glued to it, correct? and then you glue it, and that's how you get you start to build your shape of the ship. The problem is now you have this step or like a scallop, okay? And then the next one goes behind that and comes over top, and that's got, it would be, let's see. So this one, next piece comes and goes over here. So you've got to step down, then you got to step down, and you've got that, again, scalloped or it looks like a roof, you know, with all the overlapping shingles. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to do that. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is when I cut, excuse my arm, when I cut in between here, I'm going to cut out the tabs. I'm going to go tabless in between the parts. Okay? So what I'm going to do then is when, if this is one part, let's say this drawing here, and this piece of paper is, let's say, this piece of the image, I want to join it so they're like this. So then you don't have that scalloped effect. You have a virtually smooth surface. The way I propose to do that is, before I join the pieces together, I'm going to take some scrap paper and I'm going to join it from underneath and glue it. And then when they join, this next part will lay on top of that sheet and should lay side by side perfect, depending on how I cut it. Alright, so then we won't have that scalloped effect. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I hope that made sense. I was trying to be as clear as I can, but as I build it, you'll see. You'll get an idea. So the last major component, the head of the Berzerk, whereas they're calling it the prow. The last thing after that is 4 little pieces right here. Okay, and all these are going to do is, these are going to be the tubes, some sort of engine tubes and stuff like that, that's going to connect the engines to the body of the ship. So that shouldn't be that difficult. They're just small. I don't think they're going to be tough though. And again, I could be wrong. So hang on, we'll be right back.